go off if there were.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start in the crawl space. Nice and dry. Plastic is in really good shape. That's what's covering the entire dirt surface, and I don't see any issues with that. Plumbing, PEX tubing, everything's properly connected. More importantly, the waste lines are properly sloped. Nothing drops too quick, and no leaks that I can see anywhere. We do have two crawl entrances, and it's because the main entrance, which covers 3/4 of the entire crawl, and then the other one is only accessible through the other small one. Same thing with the attic spaces. You can totally walk it, but it gets pretty hairy as you get towards this side. No issues in your attic space, no leaks, no signs of water intrusion, insulated properly. More importantly, I don't see any broken or split trusses up there. So structurally, we're pretty sound up there, and as well as in the crawl space. The crawl space is also insulated, which is the subfloor, and the rim and stem wall, which is your foundation perimeter. So the entire thing is well insulated. Okay, in the crawl space, we do have the plumbing that comes in from the outside condensing unit for the AC, and it goes into the crawl. There's some sections there that is missing a few pieces of foam sleeve, and that's just insulation to sleeve there. And when it's open like that to the elements, or just in an opened area, because it's running next to the hot line, it can condensate. So it's always a good thing to replace those or just add where you need it. Several windows, I will identify which ones are starting to pull away from the glazing. And that's basically the bottom part of the frame versus the window. So if this is the frame and this is the window, it's stuck together with a double adhesive tape, which is your glazing tape. Because it gets hit, we have such a really high UV index for the sun, and so it just dries things out. This is normal wear and tear of these type of vinyl windows. And the fix there is just to get some caulk, some clear caulk along the bottoms where it needs it. That way it gives you a little bit more life expectancy out of these windows, and it doesn't affect the thermal pane seal. None of these windows have blown seals.
Oh, good.
They're all intact.
Good. Yeah.
Two windows, this one here and one in the guest bedroom, they have loose latches.
Is that an adjustment?
Yeah, it's sometimes they break. AMSCO windows are always the first ones to take a toll, especially the ones that you use the most. So back and forth. Sometimes you have to replace that latch just because it doesn't latch on anymore on one side.
Yep.
Okay. Both fireplaces, master and in the living room, nice and clean systems. They both ignite properly. The master bedroom was turned off, so I lit the pilot and it lit right back up. So I turned it back off where it was. So this is actually on, and it also functioned properly. Just because it is a gas appliance, I just recommend having these serviced regularly because they do collect dust. Okay, so the hall bath, top to floor, I recommend caulking. It's just separation from the grout. I don't have any issues with your kitchen. Everything works properly, all your appliances. No leaks at your dishwasher. It all drains properly. Water pressure is supreme. I don't have any issues. Nothing fluctuates when I have 3-4 things going, which is really good. You do have that control system for any detecting any leaks, and that's throughout the entire house, especially in the crawl space. Everywhere you have a plumbing tree or just any waste lines, there's one of those sensors located there. Okay. As you walk into the master bathroom, a couple tiles starting to peel, or actually not peel, but chip the grout. And so just refilling that up would be the best thing. It's just a cosmetic thing, but because it is a wet environment in there, you want to get that fixed because it'll continue there. Okay, we have one screen that's damaged in the master, and it's going to be the farthest left window. Okay, the water heater. We have a draft hood on top of the unit, and it's got 4 legs. 2 of them are basically doing this, so it's kilter over, and it needs to have enough space so it creates draft. Right now, it needs cold air, and then the hot air already wants to go up, and so with cold air introduced, it just makes it flow right up. And so if you have anything that is not properly standing or just clear, proper clearance, and it won't properly draft, and it can possibly backdraft into the garage. So definitely get that repaired. That can be a safety issue. Okay, furnace, HVAC, they all work great. I do notice some rust in the actual furnace. It looks like from a previous leak. It's nice and dry right now. It was last serviced, I think, 2019. But because we do have quite a bit of rust from the flue pipe here, just get that further checked out and serviced. That comes with the servicing.
Okay.
Okay. Because that leaked once upon a time, it did damage a little bit of the platform that those 2 units sit on. As you walk into the garage, you have the occupant door, which self-closes, and it's the fire-rated door. When you walk on that threshold, that plastic trim is split, and it buckles every time you step on it. You have gas or electric dryer hookups.
Okay.
Hall bath. Here at the, I'm sorry, that was not, the hall bath. Underneath the sink, we have a small drip off of your leakage, stopper leakage assembly connection at the waistline. And it just drips when you use the stop valve to hold water and then release the pressure. That's when it starts to dribble a little bit. Okay, we're looking at the house from the front, left side of the house, gutter right at the middle. We have a seam that is loose. It looks like it's been sealed with some stuff, but on the side wall, you could actually see a separation there. So when it gets overwhelmed with water, it will drip from there. Tiles. Normal chipping is what I'm seeing along the bottom corners. That's pretty much it. There's quite a few of them, so I would say more than a handful, so definitely get those repaired. Tree limbs that are in contact with the roof, I recommend cutting back. And really, trees should never be overhanging the roof because that's only going to give you more debris coming off that tree and into the gutters. But more importantly, it could actually break if they get more established and more thicker. They can break on high winds, especially up here in the northwest, and they can cause damage to your tiles. Stucco, I'm seeing normal but very minimal cracking. And I think I counted 4 or 5 windows along the top corners, maybe an inch long small cracks. Just get after them because they will separate more in the wintertime.
So a little caulking.
Or a stucco sealant that basically matches the stucco. And there's a lot of things out there you can use. Some that have a little bit more elasticity because they have fiberglass with stucco so it doesn't break or crack or expand so quickly. But definitely the name of the game here is seal it just because water is our enemy, especially in the winter when it expands when it freezes. We have a rear patio pergola style covering up there in the backyard. The right support post, when you tap it along the bottom with your foot, it shifts over. So that's not properly anchored. The other one is, but not this one here. On the right side of the house, along the bottom side of the stucco, it's in contact with the gravel. If it snows, it will build up against there and it will deteriorate that stucco. It won't let it drain off.
So move the gravel.
Remove any of the landscaping away so it lets that stucco drip. There's a bottom little weep holes on the bottom that basically drip out if you ever get any condensation between them. So, okay. AC, like I said, is working really great. Outside unit, foam sleeve. Again, it needs a little bit more foam sleeve. And I would recommend getting it leveled a little bit better. It's starting to slope towards the house a little bit. And that goes also for your concrete tile, or the concrete paver tile walkway on the right side, we have some uneven tiles there, or pavers. I just recommend fixing those so you don't trip. The actual condensing unit also has a small dent on the bottom corner. Okay, so right side of the house, we have your service panel, which is your electric panel, and your gas meter. You have ornamental trees and shrubs there that are overgrown, and they should be cut away at least 3 feet from each meter, just because it needs clearance for safety and just visibility. If your house is on fire, firemen should be able to see it from the street immediately so they can shut it off. So just a little bit of pruning back there. Concrete driveway. We're starting to see a little bit of spalling there. It's just because we're northbound and it's the coldest part of the house. So it's going to stick around a lot longer than versus the south side.
So natural wear and tear.
Yep, natural wear and tear, but get after it because again, concrete will only separate more as water gets between that and starts to peel more. That's it.
Perfect.